Wasabi wallet. I'm fairly private.
What's up, everyone? Ben with the BTC Sessions here, and this is your daily session.
Hodl that Bitcoin.
Before we dive in, of course, shout out to sponsors of the show, Ledn.io. This is where you can use your Bitcoin for a few different services. One is a Bitcoin savings account where you can earn more sats on top of your Bitcoin at a rate of 3.6% compounded monthly. Another is Bitcoin-backed loans, so you can use your Bitcoin as collateral to secure a Canadian or US dollar loan. So if you're trying to get your hands on dollars, but you don't want to sell your Bitcoin because you're worried about price appreciation, well, this could be a solution for you. And finally, if you want to double your exposure to Bitcoin, you can check out their B2X or Buy 2X product, where it does exactly that. It doubles your exposure to Bitcoin. So if you want to check out any of those services, there's a link down below. And if you opt to get a loan, they will actually credit your account with an additional $50 worth of Bitcoin. And secondly, if you're into Bitcoin, then privacy is an important thing. One of the things I use to help with that regularly on my computer, on my phone, is NordVPN. It hides your IP address, it encrypts your browsing data, and it has a bunch of other added benefits, one of which is unlocking geo-blog content. So if you're trying to access something from another country and you can't get it here or where you are in the world, well, this can help with that. If you check out the link down below and click it, you can get the service for about $3 a month. With that, let's dive into the news. So there were a number of eyebrows raised in the past, just today really, the past 24 hours or less. Einstein Exchange, which is a Canadian cryptocurrency exchange, has gone dark. When you navigate to the website, you get this. This site can't be reached. IP address could not be found. Their social media has more or less been dormant for quite some time. Like the last post here was July 17th, and it looks like it was just like an auto-posted review. So anyways, I heard some rumblings in some Telegram groups, and then I was sent this website, BIV. This is essentially a registry of kind of they let people know about things that are going on with law, politics, economics, all that kind of stuff. And this article from October 15th, if you scroll down, nice little tidbit here about a lawsuit that's being launched against Einstein Exchange, listed as the plaintiff, by a company called Sino Allied HK Limited. So HK, these guys are out of Hong Kong. They've been around since 2015. And so what's this all about? Well, the claim is that the plaintiff, Einstein Exchange, failed to pay more than $1 million US for cryptocurrency that was delivered to them. And so not looking great. And I did a bit more digging. Again, the Better Business Bureau is just littered with complaints of people saying, I can't get my money, I can't get my money. And I've heard rumblings even before this. And then sure enough, right as I was about to hit record, CoinDesk drops this article saying that Einstein Crypto Exchange has been seized by a Canadian securities regulator. So the British Columbia Securities Commission announced Monday that it filed to take control of Einstein Exchange after the platform said on October 31st that it planned to shut down its operations within the next 60 to 90 days. So currently, again, it keeps on happening. When will people learn? But Einstein owes its customers $12.4 million US dollars. That equates to 16.3 million Canadian dollars, according to this court filing. So yeah, the firm Grant Thornton was authorized to take possession of the facility and the properties and assets and all of that. They did so on November 1st. And yeah, now it's anybody's guess, but it's a shame because we should be learning from the mistakes of the past. Quadriga was massive, and still, I mean, luckily this it doesn't appear to be on the scale of Quadriga, but it's still a shitload of money. 16 million Canadian dollars is a lot, and people were leaving money on exchanges again. And there, not to mention that there were red flags. People could not access their money, but people continued to utilize this exchange. And I don't know, like if you're using an exchange, please, if you do not have to have your money on the exchange, if you're not utilizing some sort of a service, if you're not actively trading, then take your funds into your own custody. It is getting easier and easier to do. It is now easier than it ever has been in the history of Bitcoin to have a hardware wallet, to load it up, get a Trezor, get a Ledger, get a cold card. Those things are awesome. And whatever you do, it's better than leaving it unnecessarily with a company when you could be holding it yourself. If there's no reason to have it in the hands of a custodian, if you're not utilizing a service that you need to be utilizing, then get it into your own hands. I beg of you, please do that just in your own self-interest. It is worth it. And I mean, that's part of the reason why I work at Bull Bitcoin. It's the business model was built to reflect things like this, to say, hey, this is not the way that it should typically be done. By default, everything should go to the hands of the purchaser immediately upon purchase, and then they decide what to do with it from there. If you're unfamiliar, again, Bull Bitcoin in Canada, it is non-custodial. Yes, you send dollars to Bull Bitcoin, which in turn creates a voucher that you can redeem at any point for Bitcoin. But in order to redeem the voucher, you have to provide a Bitcoin address. There's no such thing as leaving your Bitcoin with Bull Bitcoin. It's either you provide a wallet address or you can't withdraw any Bitcoin. So yeah. Anyways, it's unfortunate. Let me know if you were affected by this, or if you hear any other rumblings. But with that, let's move on. A slightly more positive exchange-related news. Bitfinex has added Bech32 support, which is a form of SegWit Bitcoin address, and also has been hinting at Lightning Network up next. So what did they say here? Well, essentially now they can utilize Bech32, which is there's two types of SegWit addresses. There's the ones that begin with a 3, which is called a wrapped Bech32 or pay to script hash SegWit deposit address. They had implemented withdrawals to Bech32, which is nice because a lot of Bitcoin mobile wallets are starting to implement that, and exchanges that don't allow for that, a lot of customers just get confused. They don't understand why it won't work. So that was nice to see. But now the deposit addresses themselves are Bech32, which essentially just saves space when executing transactions, resulting in less transaction fees and resulting in actually an increase in the number of transactions you can put through the network in a single block. So it's an effective block size increase, and implementing Bech32 just helps the throughput on the network. So kudos to the guys at Bitfinex for doing that. And also in a quick little hint they dropped here, they said, now there is only one little nice thing left for us to develop. And you'll notice that little nice is capitalized for LN, which is short for Lightning Network. So again, kudos to those guys. And just a little tag onto that, SegWit spending did hit an all-time high of 57% of the entire network as of recent. So yeah, great. It continues to build. A lot of people assume that this stuff should be happening overnight. And so when SegWit was first launched and hit mainnet, a lot of people were laughing, and detractors, especially a lot of people from the Bcash side of things, were saying, oh, look, there's no adoption, it's failed. No, it's that it's a gradual opt-in thing that people can do, and incentives will align so that people gradually adopt it. And you see that happening over time. It all has to do with time preference, and I'm a firm believer that this is the way to scale a network, by optimizing and building additional layers. And speaking of additional layers or technologies built atop or alongside Bitcoin, Bitfinex has also been utilizing now something called the Liquid Network. I spoke with Samson Mow about this. We'll talk about that in a second. But you can create digital assets on the Liquid Network, which uses the security of the Bitcoin network. It is a side chain of the Bitcoin network. They did have $1.5 million worth of Tether, which is a stable coin pegged to the US dollar that a lot of people use for trading. Now, Tether originally was on Ethereum. Then it was also available on something called Omni, which I wasn't even super familiar with, but it's a decentralized asset platform on the Bitcoin blockchain. So they did have this Tether on the Omni asset layer for Bitcoin previously, but they've ported it over. They've sent it over to Liquid, the side chain of Bitcoin, and so I mean, cool to see that people are starting, if they are using alternative assets, that they're migrating to the security of the Bitcoin blockchain to do so. I don't really care for stable coins. I mean, in my in my own view, I'm not really caring about the stability of a stable coin because my interest is in staying in Bitcoin. But for some traders, they may find a use to it. Regardless, another move by Bitfinex, just kind of showing that they're trying to be bleeding edge of a lot of this stuff. If you want to learn a bit more about the Liquid Network, then I will also link to my interview with Samson Mow, where we got to talk in depth with it for, it's like a good 41 minute interview where we talk about Liquid Network and how it can be utilized. So be sure to check that out. Moving on here, Craig Wright, he's headed back to court. And why? Well, Craig Wright was sued by his supposed previous business partner, David Kleiman, their estate. Ira, I believe is his name. Yeah, Ira Kleiman is David's brother. David passed away some years ago, and Ira has since sued Craig Wright, saying that him and his brother were business partners early on, that Craig Wright owes 50% of his intellectual property and 50% of the supposed Bitcoin that Craig Wright would own were he Satoshi Nakamoto, which he's clearly not. But it amounted to some $5 billion. Anyways, they had reached a supposed settlement agreement. Well, Craig Wright has now broken that, saying that essentially he cannot fund it. He can't fund the settlement agreement. And so that means, and he did this without notice, just as of October 30th, it looks like. And so it looks like there's just not the funding to pay back. Of course, there's no funding. Now he's going to talk in circles about why that is. And it's locked up in a trust and I don't have, it's total bullshit. Let's just call a spade a spade. It's total bullshit, and he's just gonna kind of push it on. Luckily, the courts, they don't deal in bullshit, and they're just gonna, I don't know, he's gonna get steamrolled again. I don't know what's gonna happen to him, but he's gonna try and push this as long as it can. But the lies are beginning to catch up, and it's refreshing to see that I suppose that legal action can be taken in regards to the lies. The thing is, the Kleiman estate, they're not going to get anything anyways because there is no money. There is no money to get. They're going to get half of nothing. If you want to check out the actual court document, I will link to that as well. And lastly, I just wanted to let you guys know there's a fun, if you recall a little while back, I guess it was a few months back, Grayscale Investments, they dropped an ad called Drop Gold. And so Grayscale Investments, they're the ones that do GBTC, which is an instrument where you can gain exposure to Bitcoin price. There is a premium on it. It is only available to accredited investors, or you can now buy shares of GBTC from previous accredited investors that are looking to sell their shares. Regardless, they did an ad where they were making fun of gold as an investment, saying that it's tired, it's old, it's the money of the past, and that Bitcoin is the money of the future, and you should have at least a partial allocation to it. In their suggestion, you should drop gold and go for Bitcoin. Anyways, it was a funny, good ad. It was cool. They just dropped a new one again, alluding to how how gold is kind of the money of the past, and that it's all Bitcoin now. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I think you should check it out. Take a watch. Let me know what you think. It's just shy of 2 minutes long, but it's fun. It's fun. Yeah, and with that, I'm gonna wrap it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Of course, if you're new here or if you've been around for a while, like, subscribe, share. Always hit share. It's great to get new people watching. If you want to help out the show in another way, you can hit up either of the sponsors, Ledn and Nord. Those links are down below. Also, check out Wasabi Wallet. It's always good to make sure that your Bitcoin is as private as possible and maintain your financial privacy by using something like CoinJoin. So there's links to my tutorial on how to use it down below as well. If you really like what you saw, you can always drop me a Lightning Network tip at my tippin.me page. With that, I'm out. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I will see you guys tomorrow for your daily session.